Hey everybody, it's Glenn back in this video as X-Men Apocalypse is upon us. And as you may know, in the absence of action figures from the movie, I've been plucking a bunch of the movie's characters and pairing themselves in the style of Toy Rewind with blasts from their action figures of the past. And finally it's the turn of Psylocke. And for her I've turned the clock back to 2006 and Toy Biz's penultimate series of Marvel Legends, the Mojo Bathwave, where she could be found amongst the likes of Baron Zemo, Longshot, Falcon, first appearance Iron Man and Luke Cage. So that we're all on the same page, allow me to recap the history of Psylocke. Real name Elizabeth Betsy Braddock. She first appeared in the pages of Marvel UK's Captain Britain #8 in 1976. And she is in fact the sister of Captain Britain. Further still, in 1986 she even assumed the Captain Britain alias for herself. More significantly, that year she would be introduced to international audiences and fully integrated into the Marvel Universe in an appearance in New Mutants Annual #2. That story saw her abducted by Mojo, yeah, him of Build-A-Figure fame. He is the one in fact that coined the Psylocke codename. From that she would later join the X-Men and have her mind placed in the body of a Japanese female ninja, you know, like you do. With that long becoming the iconic vision of the character, so much so it's what we get represented here by Toy Biz. In many ways, as drawn on the page, Psylocke epitomizes the hourglass form of a super sexy comic book heroine. But for all the advances Toy Biz made, the female form was always a kink in their armor, and while Psylocke isn't as bad as say their Black Cat or Rogue, she certainly loses some of her sexiness in translation from page to plastic. I think the problem is that what makes chicks in comics easy on the eye is exaggerated buxom curves, which flies contrary to all the harsh angles and cuts that allow for the superposability of action figures. Meaning the end result is not super sexy, but more the look of a Franken hooker pieced together from disjointed body parts. Like I said, not as bad as some, but not great either. In fact, in the lineup of Toy Biz's Lady Legends, we can equate Psylocke as that so-so girl at high school who looks better than she is by hanging out with uglier chicks. And in my opinion, that notion continues with the head sculpt. Here it's a tricky line to toe though, as while I wouldn't want some racial caricature, I would like to see a sculpt that's more distinctly Asian looking. Now, checking out her articulation, and the head does rotate side to side, although it is somewhat inhibited by her hair down the back, and then she does have a neck hinge, so her head moves this far forward, and then it's not really able to move back again because of the hair inhibiting it. But then for a solution to that hair situation, we have to go back to her very first action figure from 1996, which featured hair sculpted to clear the neck joint. Sure, it's always going to look like it's dramatically blowing in the breeze, but it allows neck articulation, so pick your poison. There's upper arm rotation, followed by a double-jointed elbow. Looks like she's talking on her phone. And then there's rotation mid-lower arm, and at the wrist the hand is hinge, moving down and up. She features a diaphragm joint which rotates side to side, but it doesn't really seem to hinge very much backwards or forwards, and then she features rotation again at the waist. And it's actually that waist joint which allows her torso to pivot backwards and forwards. At the hips, her legs move out to the side, not particularly far, but they do move further forward, and well, they move very slightly back. There's upper leg rotation, followed by a double jointed knee. There's rotation mid-lower leg. Then at the ankles, her feet are hinged, moving backwards and forwards, plus she does have an ankle pivot, with this being her widest stance possible, still with both feet flat on the floor. Of late, Hasbro have certainly been more successful with their super heroines, but the last Legends Psylocke came in 2012, just prior to Hasbro perfecting that formula. Not to mention she was in the Uncanny X-Force box set, which was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. So while she's certainly due a do-over, it likely won't have the articulation of this Toy Biz one, but at least in appearance will do the character more justice. It's a question of if you prefer form or function. Me, generally I'd pick form, but having played around with her in this posing, she certainly grasps some cred back. Anyway, click this video if you missed the previous episode featuring Marvel Legends Galactus series Nightcrawler, and I sure would love it if you could give this video a big thumbs up. Yep, right now, hit that button, and I hope to see you all next time. Bye.